because you don't want to be out there investing your money and time into different females and different relationships and continue to start over. You go broke like that. I mean, hey, if you're an NBA player, a celebrity, maybe you don't got to worry about that. But that's a whole nother life. I don't understand. I'm a regular dude. I ain't got millions of dollars to finance, females and pay child support all over the place. So if you're trying to be successful, you got to try to keep your money consolidated. So we got to know what kind of man you are if you're going to make yourself a better person. And I'm sure you've heard the term before of body, mind, and soul. You have to take that seriously, and you have to develop these things on a constant basis, or you will not be a whole person. So to develop your body, you obviously have to eat well and you have to exercise. Very important. I know a lot of people hate exercise. They hate the gym. But more importantly, what they hate is the pain that comes with exercising. But remember, pain is just weakness leaving the body. And having a proper diet will equal how long you live on this planet. And being around is a good thing, last time I checked. So that's your body. Continue to diet and have proper exercise. Now, as far as your mind, we can't stop learning. And a lot of people do that. They know what they know and they don't want to know anything else. And this is why we have such political and social turmoil. People are not trying to learn. But you always should learn. This is why reading is important. Even learning how to build a new skill or how to communicate differently. This is all important. One of my dogs I respect, he's learning a new language and he's well into his 40s. So he's keeping that brain development going. Why do you think some of these politicians are still in Washington into their 80s and 90s? Because all that moving and grooving, taking bribes and not helping the people, whatever they're doing, that stuff keeps their brain function going because they're always plotting and scheming. The devil is always busy. So you have to keep the mind functional, even doing little puzzles and doing little word puzzles. That keeps your mind sharp. And finally, your soul. With your soul, you have to think about it. A lot of people today don't even pray. It's like I pray every time before I leave the house. And I'm not saying that makes me a saint because I got a lot of stuff I still need to work on. But when I talk to people who have sick relatives or going through stuff, and I'm like, yo, do you pray on it? They're like, nah, I don't even pray. That's major. Okay, they have studies on this, on people who are spiritual. They live longer. They have less instances of anxiety and depression and have better health, better finances. You can look it up. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you who to pray to. And if you're not praying, at least meditate. But you have to do something for your soul because we all got one. And this takes us... Go ahead.
What's the question you're posing to the people here?
So I'm dropping gems, and you're gonna just dead my gems and ask for the question. I'm coming to the question, my guy.
It's a shiny gem. I like it.
To the question, my guy. So
let's try to.
Last thing I'm gonna tell you. Let me give you the equal for all this. So finally, when you think about body, mind, and soul, it puts you in three places. One of three places. Are you operating on the God level? Are you operating? And the God level is a very spiritual level. This is where a lot of people can't reach, because if you are of the God level, you are not of this world. If you're on the man level, this means you're rationalizing, you're responsible, you understand that your actions affect the environment and others around you. This is if you're on the man level. But if you're on the animal level, and a lot of my brothers who are too overly masculine and tend to be more street dudes, if you're on the animal level, you're operating on instinct, but the problem with that is you could end up in a cage. And that's why some people end up in the cell, because they're thinking too much like an animal. Or you're just out there, banging like dogs, and you end up you with an STD. All right, this is not the way you're supposed to live. So my question to you is, where are you now in life? Are you on the God level? Are you on the man level? Are you an animal?
Well, who wants it first? C-Square, do you want to take the bribe since you're the money person? Anybody want to take the dogs with STDs? Who wants it?
What if someone has that he or she was an animal with an STD and has now changed his or her life? If there's some type of redemption for that person.
You're saying if someone's on the animal level and they have an STD, Well, I'm gonna take that question and flip it to you like this: the STD is a warning for you to change your direction. A lot of people don't look at that. So if you catch a burn, that's telling you that you having too much unprotected sex, too much partners. Something that happens to women a lot that they don't realize: if you get a UTI, a urinary tract infection, that's because you have too much appendages going in there. It's not made for that. Too much fluids from different people. So once you're having these things, you're getting STDs or someone's ex-boyfriend is shooting at you, trying to beat you up. That's a sign from the heavens that you need to change your direction.
Well, I don't want to talk too much about fluids here, but I will say I think most people on the man level or the woman level, the thing about being a human being or an adult, you're going to go into different phases, right? There's going to be parts where you're really hitting kind of on that God level, like you're saying, where you're kind of more in that spiritual zone and moving in a certain light. There's also going to be that point where you might go to your baser instincts and you might be moving more animalistic for whatever reason. Sometimes life is dog eat dog, so you got to, move appropriately. I think kind of what you're saying, reading is very important. As a kid, I read a lot of books, Sun Tzu's Art of War, the Book of Five Rings, these kind of things that kind of help you navigate these different levels of life and manhood, because you can't just be one. Everybody just can't be holy. Sometimes you need people that can do the dirty work. So I think hitting each aspect and controlling each aspect correctly is key.
Oh, you're right. Sometimes you do got to get your hands dirty, but you should always try to rise to the level of someone more spiritual, someone more godly, and try to bring others with you.
I think that there's got to be some principles that you maybe have to adhere to go from somebody who's acting like an animal, hitting everything in sight, running from the ex-boyfriend or the current boyfriend, whatever the case may be, right? And then to go from there to being a little bit, getting to that place where you said your mind, body, and soul is in alignment and you're on that God level. Like, what are the principles that you gotta kind of start absorbing? Because I don't know that you can just flip a switch. You got to be thinking about many steps to help you make progress. What do you think about that, Professor G?
Bro, that's a great question, because it's all the small things that hopefully most people have heard since the time of a child. And again, to remember that we're not perfect. So not lying, keeping it 100, keeping it a stack. That's one of the first steps. And that's hard for a lot of people because they're trying to perpetrate a fraud, especially online, trying to show they have more materialism than they have. And we shouldn't be all about materialism. So don't get me wrong. If, my wife throws on a dress that I don't like, I ain't going to walk up and say, hey, you look horrible in that dress. Where am I going to sleep that night? But we're not going to go lie and tell our children that they're performing well if they're doing mediocre in school.
Right.
So there's a line between honesty and exaggeration. And the next step is you might have a period in your life where maybe you were lost, maybe you were going through a lot of partners, but your goal should be to aspire to one person. If you're a celebrity and you got money to keep running through different relationships, because every relationship is an investment of time and money. And then if you pull out of that relationship, now you invested into a new relationship, more time, more money. Regular dudes can't afford that. Don't get me wrong. I got a few brothers. They got their 007 flex and they got their side chicks. They doing what they do, just like a lot of females. But how long can you maintain that?
What exactly is the 007 flex, if we could get a definition?
So that's when, when you're on your James Bond level tip and you may go, you might have a relationship with a female and you clean up nice, there's no evidence, they never know. And again, this has to do with the 3 levels. So if you're on the man level and you're doing your dirt, you know how to rationalize and hide your dirt. But if you're an animal, these are the brothers who are just like leaving evidence all over the place. Ex-girlfriend or current side chick is calling their main girl or their wife, and they have no clue or no desire to hit the God level.